I thought if I created more time that I'd have more happiness. The truth is I was wrong. Instead, I was always left behind. Nothing was ever enough, and everything that I did, it never felt complete, and in turn, I never felt fulfilled. The truth is that I didn't really have a time problem. After figuring out how to get things done as efficiently as possible and fit the most into my day, I just ended up adding more and more and more. So I didn't really have a time problem, I had an attention problem. And all those things that I was doing to try to fill that time, they were really just distractions. I ended up getting caught in this endless loop of do. I found myself being defined by what I accomplished in a day or how many boxes I checked to fill a resume or prove my worth as an employee, as a entrepreneur, as a husband and a father. Um, and then I started using all these different apps and all these different formulas and platforms to try to help me keep track of it all, to keep it all organized. And ultimately, all I created was a bunch of artificial urgency. I mean, just one notification after another reminding you that what you're doing isn't enough, that there's always something more to do. And it just created no space for the time that I thought I needed. When you're always starting something, nothing is actually ever done because what we're looking for, what we're trying to accomplish, it isn't in the start, it's not in the finish, it's in the action and in the space between. It's not about having enough to fill your plate as much as it is about your plate feeling full. Uh, so many ideas got left on the table because I was just going with whatever the first thought in my head was, and how many things I could start. And once this box was checked, I just needed to move on to the next as quickly as possible. So I didn't really get time to really think about how important these things were, what they could actually provide as far as value for people and for myself. When you act on every thought, you don't really leave yourself time to think. You don't find yourself in any type of understanding of what actually matters. When everything's a priority, nothing is. That kind of puts you in a state where you think that you're doing something proactive, that you're always like on the go and you're doing right and you're doing good. But the truth is that when you're constantly moving like that, most of the time you actually end up in a reactive state because you're constantly responding to what you didn't finish or what you didn't start. It's not fulfilling at all. It's very, it feels good in the moment, like a dopamine hit from, a like or any type of engagement on social media, but it doesn't actually provide any real value in benefiting yourself to feel better or feel fulfilled. It ultimately just leads to burnout. I found myself working 50, 60 hours a week and just trying my best to just get things done. If I checked another box, if I just got this next thing done, then I could move on to the next, and that was my cycle. It was just an endless loop. It led to me just crashing out. I found myself in a space where I couldn't do anymore. I was done. And all that productivity that I thought I was accomplishing ultimately came to a screeching halt. I actually had to take off work because I was not just mentally exhausted, I was physically exhausted from the strain of constantly moving put on me. It's what led to what I call my third weekend. So on the third weekend of every month, I leave all the work on the table Thursday afternoon. I don't revisit it until Monday morning. This is my way of, even when things get overwhelming, to just reset. It forces stillness in a way that I was not capable at the time of doing. This was my first step towards what is now what I call work life harmony. It's not a balance because there's no you're not trying to keep a scale even all the times. Things take priority, and that gets back to when everything's a priority, nothing is, and that's why the scale just sits still. That's not how most people want to live their life, right? You want to find yourself in a position where you're focused on the things that matter, the things that truly matter, not just trying to keep the scale from tipping. So it comes down to something really simple that I've found, is that if you take these three things, these endless loops, open loops, artificial urgency, and just trying to fill your time, and you recognize that none of those things actually benefit you or create any value to the fulfillment of your life, you can really start to harbor change and really start to feel better about what you're actually accomplishing. Everything that we do, everything that I sign off on, everything I'm a part of now is about creating that harmony, not just for myself, but for the people that are involved, whether it be my employees, my clients, the people who read my books, anything that I put my name on, it is associated with creating real change for the better fulfillment, not just checking off boxes. I wonder how many other people have been found in this endless loop and just moved by the notifications on their phones and on their calendars instead of actually figuring out what matters most for them in the moment, getting that taken care of, completing it, and really finding fulfillment in what we're doing, not what comes next.